Sometimes they might not be able to afford this technology, but now they have the opportunity to purchase it. So we at the very minimum, we want to get them to have a swivel. We need them to have some kind of phone or tablet to be able to use it. It's great for them to record their own teaching so that they can go and assess how they're doing. They could capture a 5-minute lesson for us if we wanted to do a little formative feedback check-in with them, or they could even have their students use it. So what we're doing is, as field placement faculty, which you'll see, we're all trained to use the technology in the field with our students, and then we really sit with them to use it in their practice. I had a girl come into my office like a month ago. She had the box with the swivel. She actually opened it up in front of me and was like, what do I do with all this? You know, we put it together, but it was great. But that's what I feel I'm there for, you know, to support her to make her practice better. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the field experience. And you've heard a little bit about this so far. So this is how I believe we support our students. And I have supporting our students on the top, but yet the students on the bottom, and it looks like we're attacking our students. So I think I'm going to move this. So the bubble's going to be at the top. We're going to be pushing them. Anyway, I was proud of getting this in here.
We have noticed that. Thanks for pointing it out.
What do you think of that, Dr. Bob? Analyze what I'm thinking. Anyway, I put the field placement in the middle, right? But so I really believe that we have a team approach to working with our students, and it's an equal approach. And what we have is the course instructor, of course. They're the content specialists, so they're teaching the course, they're working with the students on building that theory. Then we have the field placement, and we really put that theory into practice for them in the field. We are their primary support. We are the face of Granite State College in the field. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the team that we have. They're extremely professional. They love their job. They're out there in the schools. They're accessible to students almost 24 hours a day. I mean, they're always emailing and talking and calling, but they really uphold the requirements of our program with all of our students. They look at the placement and the quality of the placement, and they're not afraid to come to me and say, I have a question about this placement, so we can work that through. They ensure that the supervising practitioner is a certified person in the correct area, and that they are there to mentor the person in the field. So the supervising practitioner is that certified person in the same certification the student is seeking, that works in the school, that's a part of the school district. That really works in conjunction with the principal. I was up north the other day. I'm beginning to love the North Country. And I live in Salem, so it's the opposite end of the state. I was at a school, the Jackson Grammar School, which was fabulous. You know, 36 kids in the whole school, and I said I was just in Manchester, 36 kids in one class. But the supervising practitioner is the principal. And so I observed a student, and then I sat with the principal, supervising practitioner, and we talked. We talked shop. You know, we talked practice, and we talked how to help the student in the field. We talked about the career goals of the student. So that's really what we do. You know, so we're kind of that liaison between Granite State College, the principal, the school district, the student. I get scared when I think of all the work we do, right?
And the faculty, there's conversations between
absolutely
the field placement faculty and the instructional faculty, as well as the supervisor.
And that goes in a variety of ways. That's a good point, Dan. So it's a struggling student, you know, as a field mentor or a faculty will email me and say, gee, so-and-so hasn't passed an assignment, or I haven't been in there to see the observation. We connect right away with the faculty. We also talk content, as in, what are you seeing for the lesson plan? How can we build on this? Nick and I just met with a student yesterday to help her further develop her lesson plans in the field, and then we're working with the instructor. So, sure.
Question, or I guess it's kind of a comment / question. I guess what you were saying about, you know, that person's an employee of that district. I think with these two programs, that's going to be less and less likely to occur, because usually the itinerant practitioner is not. I mean, Manchester and Nashville,
absolutely,
yes.
Yep. And we're finding that, and what's
yeah.
wonderful is our field placement faculty, along with Barbara. I've attended one of the advisory board meetings for the program, so I could meet the people there, and they're our link. And we even had a student the night I attended the meeting that needed a supervising practitioner, and those fabulous professionals around the table were like, oh, I know her, I know so-and-so. but absolutely.
And in that case too, that's where we had the we've gotten those letters of support, so for like the Stratford Learning Center. So if Terry Lemire, who I think you know, takes somebody with her, she would be the supervising practitioner at that point, and Beth Odell is the field placement faculty.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you're right, but it wouldn't be the person within the school because there may not be anybody in the
Right.
school. And that is one of the huge challenges for both of these areas. I mean, that is one of the things that's made it so difficult.
And a part of the reason why, because we don't have
Capacity.
New Hampshire capacity within the state, and we're hoping that this program will help us develop that capacity.
And we also, oh, go ahead, I'm
So
sorry.
Mary, let me follow up on that, because that's certainly one of the big questions that Suzanne and I had. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm gonna pretend I'm a student who wants to be certified in blind vision. Would I be assigned to an itinerant teacher? And I would be floating with that itinerant teacher for my clinical experiences?
I'm gonna say yes and no. Thank you.
You might.
I'm gonna say you might, but then you might spend some time at Perkins,
Okay.
where it
so
wouldn't
there
be an
might a
itinerant.
bit-
You might spend some time at the Carroll School. You might spend some time
So these
at the
people-
Manchester
these-
program,
These people
Green Acres.
these people could not be employed in a school and use that setting. It's different than your other, it's different than how you do the other.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to
It
understand.
is, however, I will say, like if you're in deaf and hard of hearing, you've got a great deaf and hard of hearing program in Manchester.
Oh, no, I understand
So
that,
they
but for the
could,
most part.
but for the most part, yeah, it's tricky.
That's
It
why
is tricky.
the question I believe you asked, Suzanne, the supervising practitioner will be based upon the placement.
And the one constant is the field placement faculty, and the
That,
field
yeah,
placement
yeah.
faculty is certified in
They
the
kind of go
area.
wherever the person
Right,
goes.
so
That's what I
Dan
get.
being the field placement faculty, he, no matter where that student is, Dan will follow that student to that placement, and he is certified in the correct area. So we always have the supervision of a certified person working with that.
In both cases.
In both
cases.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So I
Further
guess
question?
my being an itinerant practitioner myself, I guess my thought would be, really you can't think of placement for your programs, think however you like, but I'm just my point of view. You can't think of placement for these two programs unless it's a very specific, like the Green Acres, deaf and hard of hearing program, as a physical location. Really, you need, I think, that your
Yeah.
placement is gonna end up, who's your supervising practitioner and where are they? Because-
And the required clinical experience they
Right,
need
do
to fill
they-
out their
Do they
portfolio.
have the right kind of student that your student needs for that clinical class that they're taking? And if not, that's not the supervising practitioner to be placing your candidate with.
We totally agree.
That's just,
Right.
We totally
No,
agree.
that's true.
just trying to make sense of the picture.
Right,
we're
and that's,
talking about.
right, and that's why we also have, like, we have, I know you know these people, that's why I'm using their name, nobody
Right.
else does, but you do. And like, we have Tracy Lewiselli, so if we want to do blind with additional disabilities,
Right.
she can help with that. We also have
Right.
Project Mountain for that.
Right.
So, that's what we've been doing, is we've been trying to figure out for what type of student, where do we go? Where are we gonna get a student who uses Braille?
Right.
And right now, that's with Adrian. So, yes, and of course, it's a low incidence program, it's also a low number of candidates.
Right.
So
that's
that
true.
also helps, because we're not talking about 20 candidates.
Right.
We're talking about 3 or 5,
Right.
Who
So
are
that's
all
a
at
whole.
different points.
That's
in
right.
different clinical, well, some of them. might
That's
be
right,
different.
and like we just had somebody who is in a preschool with visually impaired kids, So she has a little bit of experience, she can use job embedded, but she needs a lot everywhere else because it's a new level. So
Mary, do you have a chart of potential placements?
we have
For what?
support
We have
letters in
support
your.
letters.
Yeah, no, I'm asking for a chart.
No,
We
we don't
don't have
have
a
one,
chart.
but we could
No.
probably put one together, but we determined it by the support letters. If you
Yeah.
want us to develop a chart, we can.
No, I just think it
Yeah.
would be, well, if I were a student, putting
Oh,
myself as a
yes.
student, again, if I had that chart that said all the different places and what they focused on and the different people, then I would have a better way to kind of make my plan, because I won't know how to make that plan.
But please understand, they're also doing that personal plan with the faculty with
I
EDA.
get that.
Yeah, I
I
get it,
get
but we
that.
will do a
And
chart.
I can speak to that.
Well,
Yeah,
that-
it's a good
It would help me
suggestion,
as a
yes.
student.
That
So what,
visual is really important when you're thinking 3
Yeah.
semesters ahead or.
And I also think it gives you, certainly one of the issues that we have been talking about is the capacity issue. How do you ensure that you're gonna have placements that are quality placements for all these students? So to put together something that